Say what were you saying about J-Mo?
I was just saying it is still facing. They haven't cemented the suspension yet. He is still facing it, and it could be anything from a honey pack at the gas station, like you said, too much pre-workout, to a prescribed medication that wasn't filed in time, or
it could be him covering up steroids.
Yeah, I doubt it.
We're doing all the positive things, but the fact of the matter is also masking agents are in the 2-game suspension, and it could be a masking agent. We don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, I'm sure it's going to come out, and then there's going to be more on it, but yeah, I'm not too worried about it.
But let's live in the world that we're living in right now. The 2-game suspension most likely coming, maybe repealed to 1, maybe repealed. But let's operate in a world where J-Mo is not playing on Sunday. His downfield blocking, if you go back and watch the last game, it is unreal. Every big play, every touchdown has J-Mo's fingerprints on it, blocking downfield, even crackback blocks. What he's done at the blocking end of the wide receiver position, honestly, just go watch it. It's pretty phenomenal. So you lose that. You lose your massive deep threat. You lose your speed player. Who is the guy that's going to have to step up for the Detroit Lions in J-Mo's spot? Is it going to be a Laporta? Is it going to be a Tim Patrick? Are you thinking Khalif Raymond's just going to slide right into that slot? D-Mac, who do you feel is going to step up in J-Mo's absence if the suspension holds?
Well, I think we've seen signs of building it, but I think that you see more responsibility put on Tim Patrick. I've really liked when he's brought you hear what Jared Goff says about him, but he's formulating himself and, listen to the interviews and stuff. He's talking about the offense and how tough it is, but it's something to learn, and he gets more comfortable with it. I see Jared Goff becoming more comfortable. Now, you can't expect the relationship between Goff and Josh Reynolds because of the time they spent together, but I think that it's developing into something like that. I don't think you're going to, it's Tennessee also, so it's ball control. You don't know what Montgomery's going to be, but I think in this game, you're going to see Tim Patrick step up, and you're going to see Khalif Raymond be more involved. You saw him with a touchdown last game. I think that he is sort of your ex guy, right? But it's going to be, more by committee. But if I was going to pick one guy, it's Tim Patrick.
Tim Patrick?
That
seems to be what's going on in the chat. Mike G saying Tim, Kevin Donaldson, Tim Patrick, 100%. I love this from Andrew Alasog. Jared Goff is going to step up. I don't know how much more Jared Goff can step up. I don't know how much more perfect you can be than perfect. But, Jared Goff is the leader of that offense. Khalif and Timmy P sprinkle in some Brock Wright. I like that from Patrick Ofaria. TP is Goff's new Reynolds safety blanket. Tim Patrick. Let's see. Tim Patrick. TK85 loading from Jack Stark. If Tom Kennedy comes out and has a game, you, sir, deserve some extra credit.
Tom Kennedy's probably still going to be on the practice squad.
No, there's one guy that actually Dan Campbell mentioned in his interview yesterday that we haven't seen at all in a Lions uniform this year, and that's Allen Robinson. Mm-hmm. I mean, you go back to Allen Robinson's early part of his career when he was with Jacksonville, he was a major weapon. He was doing big things down there with Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
Then he went to Chicago, had a decent run there with bad quarterback play. Then, of course, he wound up with the Steelers, and now he's with us. I follow him exclusively because he went to my old high school, Orchard Lake St. Mary's, so shout out to Allen Robinson. But we may see some Allen Robinson run.
You very well could, and this is we talked about it kind of jokingly, in the preseason, that the Lions have the greatest practice squad receiving core of all time because they had Tim Patrick, Allen Robinson, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and then Tom Kennedy and Isaiah Williams.
TK85.
Well. So when you have guys like that, you've got veterans that could step up. Like D-Mac said, we've already seen Jared Goff get on a page with Tim Patrick where he trusts him. He's going to throw the ball to him in these jump ball situations. Allen Robinson is a guy that's still got a little left in the tank too. He didn't have a good year for Pittsburgh, but when he was in Los Angeles a couple years ago, him and Stafford had some connections, and he looked pretty good before getting injured. So these guys are going to have to step up if Jameson Williams does end up serving this 2-game suspension. If it happens, I'm praying it happens right now. That's something. Like, if Jameson Williams gets suspended, I want it to happen right now, because if it waits till next week, then you lose him for Green Bay and Houston. I would rather lose him for Titans and Green Bay and have him for Houston. So if it's going to happen, I hope it happens this week. I hope this week is one of the games that
El Gato. I want to see Vaki in the slot.
Vaki's going to get some love too, for sure.
He'll get some run. You never know that. I mean, that could be a new play. Laporta. Sam Laporta's getting a few mentions in here. Let's see. One funky Lions fan, Laporta needs to step up, and that very well could happen too. I mean, if you looked at last game, the only two guys who really didn't eat were Jameson and Laporta, right?
Yeah.
Everybody else got their touches. Everybody else got their love. J-Mo had -4 yards. His impact on the game, though, well beyond that -4. But Laporta, D-Mac, what you thinking about him? Do you think he should step up?
Another one that has become reliability, right? And it's not, to me, his value, and especially and when you say Laporta, I'm more so because you see targets to Brock Wright. He's just much part of this offense too. So the both of them, whether it's blocking or protection, right? That's what last game was for.
Yeah.
With the way the linebackers and the way that Minnesota attacks, it was strictly like, hey Sam, guess what? We'll get you in Tennessee.
Yeah.
We'll get you next game, bro.
Right.
I need you and Brock to hold this down on the outside and help out the offensive line. So he's proven in the past that when you need him, he's there. He's reliable. So it could be him too. That's the whole thing. It could be a lot of things. I like what you're saying. It gives an opportunity for a veteran guy like Allen Robinson to come off the bench and to have an impact right away.
Right.
Get himself back in. These are the moments you're waiting for.
The fact that we had Tim Patrick and Allen Robinson on the practice squad for the Detroit Lions tells you everything you know about what the rest of the NFL thinks about this team. Those guys would rather come wait on our practice squad to get a shot at a championship than go get some meaningless snaps for a horrible team. And we used to be the meaningless snap horrible team, and now you're getting some decent older free agents that are still chasing that ring, and they want to come to Detroit. That should show you everything you need to know about your team, right, D-Mac?
No, absolutely. And that's what do we talk about as a destination place.
Yep.
And even more so, you're making it so guys want to wait in line.
That's wild. So cannot confirm nor deny. Where is this? Dosha Khalid 22 said, I heard on another podcast that J-Mo tested positive for Adderall that he has a script for. Then somebody else followed up with that he didn't follow the proper paperwork for his prescription medication.
Yeah, I've not heard that from a reputable source. There has not been any official word of what substance that he tested positive for was.
So if that's the case, and the holding up pending could be that the paperwork got lost.
Could be. It's like I said, there's a menagerie of things that it could be. He tested positive for. I've not heard from a legitimate source of what it was.
What does this mean? Copa Celtic Sushi. Stick has vacant eyes.
I don't know. I think he's flirting with you.
You hitting on me, bro? You
hitting
on me, bro? What's going on?
Different than Hungry Eye.
Yeah.
Hungry Eye.
Or
Man,
Whispering
rest in
Eye.
peace, Swayze. Oh, Patrick Swayze. What a legend.
That's what he just. So you're Patrick Swayze. Thanks.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Thanks. I'll roadhouse you right in the face.
Stick Swayze.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. So, yeah, who's going to step up? It doesn't matter.
The whole team.
I mean, the whole team. You saw last game, J-Mo, like I said, had impact outside of the catches, but he didn't really have the production that you were looking for. And as long as you got Jared Goff distributing to the open wide receiver and Ben Johnson, now I'm sure they got a whole game plan without J-Mo. They can scheme without him. Yeah, it's a little bit different, but
I got a question. How many games have they played without him in the past few years? They
Quite a
didn't have
few.
him for so many.
Yeah, a
so
lot.
he's more still like a luxury.
yeah,
They
he's
know how to do it. But what's Ben do? He goes to the file cabinet and goes, okay.
brings out the old tricks.